Sympathy, a TwiLuna story by Ch.3. Chapter 3. Twilight could not believe how warm she was. It felt like ages since she was last so gloriously warm. The bed was so soft and fluffy. The covers were just the right mixture of weight and poofiness required for maximum comfort. And Luna was just so snugly. An orphan happiness leaks right out of Twilight's sparkle as brain finally caught up with the rest of her body. Realizing that the source of this wonderful warmth was the Luna princess she was entangled with in Princess Celestia's bed. Now shocked awake, she could remember every embarrassing moment of last night before, when she had overreacted and thought Celestia and Luna hated her. When Celestia had explained what sparking was, and then there had been a lot of drinking, a lot of the royal kitchen's fine sweets and pastries. Then Celestia had tricked both Luna and herself into touching horns again. Then they had, oh no, I just want to find a deep hole and crawl into it for the next 100 years. That was completely different from last time. Twilight closed her eyes and mentally cringed, remembering how the feeling of the latest clank instant had been very pleasant compared to last time. She had been numbed by fatigue, alcohol, and good food, but the feelings had been the need to be perfect. So Princess Celestia would never find fault with her, had been a driving force in Twilight's life, driving her to study endlessly, not to waste her life on virtuous things like friends, fashion, or material items. But it was as if her books didn't dip into their hooves into darker waters from time to time. And the feeling she had experienced the moment when Luna and herself had crossed horns for the second time had made her very aware of the fact she was a young male in her prime. And the connection with Luna allowed Twilight to feel that despite being 1,000 years old, Luna's body was much in the same predicament. And now they were wrapped in each other's wings in Celestia's bed, of all places, snuggled up like two kittens with their horns still jointed by something that let them flex slightly against each other. Twilight couldn't turn her head to look without drawing her muscle closer to Luna's right now, and that would be a recipe for disaster. She also was trying very, very hard not to think about the sensations that were instantly making themselves known with every motion of the smooth blood and rich nubbed skin that covered the horns, known as a velvet, rub against each other. Blushing fiercely, she tried to think cold, dry thoughts. Twilight started to run down a mental checklist of actions she could take that would not result in Luna's waking up, and the situation deterring further, came up with precious little. She would not withdraw her wings, because Luna was laying on top of one of Twilight's own wings. Luna's forelegs had wrapped themselves tightly around the barrel of Twilight's body, and of course, where it was holding the horns together. Okay, calm. I am calm. There's still a way out of this, Twilight told herself, running through a list of possible spells that could work. Teleporting blindly was out of the question, especially with the entangled situation and her own Alcorn powers randomly spiking. She might teleport them into a wall or burn them both with uncontrolled magical energy, or transport both herself and Luna into each other during the revitalizing phase of the teleportation spell. Luna was one of her friends, but spending entirety fighting each other for control over a nightmare's mismatched body was not something Twilight was looking forward to. Perhaps a quick scurrying spell just to see what would bind the horns together. A small spell, just enough to get a glimpse, would surely not be too jarring in their position. Twilight gathered the magic from the core of her being, wondering why her magic with us were all but exhausted, and fed the tiniest amount of that power into the spell she had in mind, funneling up and out her horn. Just as the spell reached the very top of her horn, it was gone, sucked into Luna's own horn like a drop into a sponge. Rather than seeing the room from the arcane eye she tried to conjure, Twilight Sparkle had the dubious honor of making Luna moan happily in her sleep, then hugging Twilight Sparkle tighter, if such a thing was possible, before rolling over onto her back and dragging slightly smaller Twilight with her, so that Luna was lying on her back. Twilight was draped over Luna in a very compromising position, busting fiercely at her lower body, flipped between Luna's hind legs, and certain parts of their anatomies became acquainted. The Canterlot Academy, where Twilight Sparkle had attended, wasn't quite as squeaky clean as the ponies of Pressure were led to believe. And one day, after sneaking into the library late to study at night to study for upcoming tests, Twilight came across a pair of third-year students engaged in extracurricular activities of their own. Paralyzed with fear, Twilight has been struck. Paralyzed with fear, Twilight had been stuck in the next row of bookshelves as the two older students proceeded to do unspeakable things to each other, or so the much younger and innocent Twilight thought at the time. But the sounds they made together had remained in Twilight's memories. She knew what it sounded like. What Luna had just meant, as the sympathy between the two Alcorns rebounded to sensations Luna had felt back to Twilight. The smaller Alcorn blushed so hard she almost turned pink as Pinkie Pie, and tried to think of desert sponges and dried up riverbeds with mixed success. By Celestia's beard, I can't use magic without us having those sensations. Oh no, what happens when Luna wakes up and tries to magic us apart? Oh no, oh no. Bad, bad, bad. We'll shout the castle down around us. What did I do? 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 She only just managed to get the bottom of this whole clank incident with Luna, with Celestia acting as a mediator. Now with this, Luna was going to think she was a naughty pony. It's okay, it's fine. We're just in a very embarrassing position. Luna tends to be loud enough to be heard a mile away as she panics. We can't can't use magic, and Caesar woke up. No problem. No problem. Oh, who am I? But, who am I fooling? We're doomed! Luna's eyes flutter open, sleepily staring at Twilight in the focused way upon us when they just wake up. Luna, please don't freak out, but we're stuck, and I can't get loose. And please don't use the roller catalog voice higher. I'm so sorry. We're stuck. Twilight found herself blabbing before she managed to take a deep breath to stop herself from hyperventilating. Twilight, wait now, get off. Luna squeaked, her horn glowing with the beginnings of a spell before Twilight could tell her to stop. And the purple Alcorn felt her fur tingle, and the terrifying sound of prickling sensation of a teleportation spell. Stop. We're in bed together, and she POV changed Luna. We're in bed together, and she's hugging me in my sleep. Luna mentally screamed, the warm, blissful feeling that had enveloped her scant moments before fading to hot embarrassment as she tried to teleport away from Twilight Sparkle, and her embarrassment turned to puzzlement when she fed her last remaining threads of magical energy into a teleportation spell, strong enough to send Luna back to the moon. All of which drained away in a eye blink into Twilight, who had a rather bizarre reaction. Gasping like a fish out of water, Twilight collapsed against Luna's prone form, trembling and twitching, her wings stuttering, and the newest princess of Equestria making what would be of adorable squeaking noises under different circumstances. Well, confused and more than a little bit alarmed, Luna opened her mouth just to ask what was going on when she felt the effects of the fatal spell rebound through her own horn. Please don't freak out, but we're stuck. I can't get loose. The words came back to haunt Luna just a split second before the sympathy with Twilight Sparkle allowed Luna to experience every single thing happening to the younger Alcorn. And now there were two gasping, failing Alcorns in bed, squeaking and moaning until the spasms had passed. Unthinking, both Twilight and Luna wrapped their legs around each other as the spasms rocked them, barely able to breathe, let alone control themselves. A full minute passed before either Luna or Twilight could speak again, lying panting in bed, not trying to look each other in the eye, which were a feat in itself, and which were a feat in and of itself, with their horns forcing their heads so close together. Okay, Nero. No magic for either. Twilight panted, unable to get her limbs to obey her to pull herself off of Luna's body. We need something, a mirror, so we can see what's keeping our horns locked together like this. Luna, for her part, guiltily enjoyed the pressure of the slightly smaller Alcorn on top of her, and the lingering tremors in her own body, for a few more moments before mustering the courage to speak, hoping her voice would not waver. Indeed. I do not think we could endure another instant. If this is Tia's bedroom, then there should be a small mirror on her nightstand. Can you see it? I think so. But how we going? But we're going to have to move. Can you hold on to me? And I drag us over to it. The purple alcorn blushed heavily as he spoke, and Luna was awkwardly aware of the pleasant, smooth warmth that was spreading through her body. From well, Twilight laid spread-eagle and palpable against her. No, desist. I am not a filly fooler. She admonished herself. Admonished herself before awkwardly wrapping her limbs around Twilight once more, wriggling as best she could to help Twilight drag themselves over the soft cloud bed towards the nightstand. Said wiggling caused both princesses to blush fiercely as certain parts of their anatomies repeatedly induced themselves to their counterparts and heroically ignoring the squinching sounds that accompanied those meetings. Luck for one with them, with her greater wind. Luck was for once with them. With her greater wingspan, Luna was able to reach her wing over to the nightstand, using her feathers to feel around until she felt the cool, silver-plated handle of the mirror. Using the animate magic that all Pegasi and Alcorns possess, manipulated. Having trouble. Manipulated her primaries of light, whether as crude digits. Snagged the mirror, holding up so Twilight could examine their horns, and for the awkwardness of their position of Luna from using the mirror directly. Well, she saw it made Twilight tremble against Luna and start to stammer and blush. Twilight, we command thee to tell us what is holding our horns together like this. The Lunar Princess demanded, her voice rising and falling as her own panic rose. What be the cause of this predicament? What had Twilight seen? And where the hay was Tia? She was the one who caused this whole embarrassing event in the first place, with her ill-thought-out prank. Our horns joined Luna. I could see the velvet on the tips of her horns. It stuck together. Twilight stammered, her eyes going far too wide as her pupils contracted to dots. I never heard something like this before. I never even heard of something like this. What do we do? What do we do? Panicking. Both males pushed away from each other, yelling in pain as they attempted to tear free from each other, only resulted in stinging pain in the place of their horns, splitting headaches. Where is Tia? Luna hissed in frustration, with Twilight lying atop of her like this, and their horns mysteriously joined together. The male could get onto their hooves, and they were having enough issues with both of their horns rubbing against each other. With their horns rubbing against. They were having enough issues with both of their horns rubbing against each other. Every ridge of the spiraling links catching on each other. No, that's enough of that. Thank you very much. I'm right here, sister. Twilight, Tia's horn replied from the bathroom, sounding mildly amused, and the Solar Princess stepped out of her private bathroom into their field of vision with steam from a hot shower. Still steaming from a hot shower, her mane and tail wrapped in thick, fluffy towels. As for what happened to your horns, I have a theory. I'm just glad that the side effects of your two resonating together has finally stopped. The overflow of magic that were causing random items in the castle to emanate and move about their own, I had to explain to the guard and the castle staff that Twilight was undergoing some minor changes due to her changing from an element bearer to a powerful unicorn to boot into an alicorn, and the reason you had to had confined her to her corners until her power stabilized, which is not too far from the truth. Princess, do the ponies know about Luna and I and our problem? Luna heard Twilight ask in a small, same voice. That was a small part of the Luna Princess' heart prickled with pain. A problem, am I? No. As far as any pony knows, you are simply suffering random spikes of magical energy that are overflowing your natural barriers, and Luna had to try to contain the energies last night. Hence the sources of mixed magic flooding the castle. Celestia replied gently, then smiled sheepishly. I do apologize for all this mayhem. I knew full well neither you would willingly do something as embarrassing as sparkling in front of me, so I can examine your sympathy in person. And I was in full control of my own faculties. I cannot overstate how sorry I am. I had a little bit too much cider, and I only intended to serve the both of them. And see if there was anything I could do privately to help you both handle your sympathy towards each other magic. But the reaction was so strong I could not pull your horns apart once it started. A flicker of a frown crossed Celestia's face as she looked down at the busting alicorns in her bed. I think the resonance between you two was so strong you actually welded the velvet on your horns together. I think a simple procedure will separate you, but you're going to lose velvet in the process. A lot of it. And the court will know straight away. For several moments, there was nothing but an awkward, uncomfortable pause as the three alicorns eyed each other. Did Luna and I, did we embarrass ourselves? Twilight asked softly, her eyes squeezed tightly shut. All that happened was you blacked out and painted on my carpet. Then your combined magic ran wild, made random pieces of artwork, a dozen suits of armor, and half the castle's cutlery self-eminent and run amok. Celestia replied in an equally soft voice, her controlled tone completely ruined by the huge smile on her face. Honestly, I am so very sorry. I had the best of taste and the best of intentions, but there was executions. Still, we'll have resolved the issue, at least for a few days. dear sister. I did not see how tricking myself in Twilight in this mortifying situation is helpful in the slightest. Luna snapped, feeling completely humiliated at their predicament. Celestia must have heard them when Luna attempted teleportation spell had misfired. Thank Mother Earth that the cloud was silently absorbing leakages. And the fact that Luna knew that at least half the leakage wasn't hers, only added to the confusion and the frustrations that whirled inside her. As of this moment, Twilight could not cast any spell or note, and you, Luna, almost out of magic now, are you not? Princess replied gently, all traces of mirth gone in her face. I have spent the day. Twilight and Luna wailed in surprise and distress. Yes. The day conferring with my personal archivist and poured over several ancient scrolls that claim to be the final word on guilty residents and magical sympathies. So let's continue, mouth firmly set against smiling, as they marched towards the bed to the other side. Most are a little more than mystical travel or magical romantic fantasy, but a scroll penned by Star will the Bearded did mention that entities suffering from powerful sympathies can learn to ground the excess energy caused by their sympathy to specially pale crystal matrices and even turn those energies to good use given practice. Hence, with some reluctance, I am sending you both to the H Castle of the Royal Pony Sisters. In effect, the old capital of Equestria. I will not inform the court of your location naturally, but we will tell them that this is a training mission for Twilight Sparkle, outlined by Celestia's golden magic. The towels on her mane and tail unwrapped themselves from her body and drifted down onto the bed before both Luna and Twilight felt Celestia poke at the mutual sheath of skin that joined the uppermost portions of their horns, shivering in spite of themselves as the act caused their horn tips to grind against each other. It is far enough away that no point can disrupt your lessons, yet close enough for me to reach you via teleportation within a few minutes if the need arises. In that your magic begins to overflow, again due to the sympathy, will have dissipated into the wilds of the forest long before another opponent could detect them. There were a moment of pain as Celestia's magic forced its way between the two horns of the smaller alicorns, teasing apart the velvet that could be salvaged, cutting with surgical precision, which was too deeply conjointed to be saved, until Luna and Twilight felt the last springing connection between them release, and both alicorns can move their heads away from each other. So it's exile, dear sister. There's such time we can handle this problem. Luna could not keep the bitterness out of her voice as Twilight shakily heaved herself away from Luna and crawled to the other side of the bed away from Celestia. How long that will be? A year? A decade? More? How long will we be able to keep the charade up while the court laughs behind my back, while Twilight friends wonder what they did wrong for to sun them so? What Twilight Sparkle's friend wonder what they did wrong for to sun them so? Celestia's expression went from suppressed mirth one of shock and pain, but Luna felt far too angry to take her comment back or apologize. Twilight considered there simply a problem. It was the same in being connected to Luna. Celestia was effectively banishing them to the 18th capital, despite Luna's fall from grace and corruption to Nightmare Moon, and more painful memories than Luna felt she could ever deal with. She had missed an entire day thanks to Celestia's ill-thought prank, and Mother Earth only knew what the court would think of her now, and that she could only handle 3 weeks of double duty while Celestia managed 1,000 years of it. Luna, I will never exile you. With the rate at Twilight learns to control new forms of magic, I expect you both to be gone only a week or 2 at the most. Celestia's gasped, reaching for Luna with her wings and all but dragging her angry younger sister into a tight embrace. I will never let you undergo such a horrid fate again. Never. And there's another reason why I'm sending you both to that place. Ponyville is not much more than 6 or 7 hours walking distance from the old castle, farthest by flight. Luna sighed and relaxed again against Celestia's chest, patting her little sister comfortably as the eldest Alicorn began to say, It's not too far that you both can't go to Ponyville and spend time with your friends. Take a break every now and then. I don't want to send you away, but until you control the sympathy between you two, it's just too dangerous for you to have you both in Canterlot. If I send one of you away, nobles will start to draw their own conclusions. For you, unpleasant. Ponyville. That's not so bad, Luna murmured to her sister softly as Celestia shook the large white body of the ruler of the Equestria shuddering as the solar princess tried not to cry before the lunar princess sighed again in defeat and hugged her sister back. It's alright, dear. I'm sorry for snapping at you. This has been a rough few weeks. With the sparking incident with Twilight and the drama of the news ponies, and then the rumors I imprisoned Twilight and were using your absence to take over Canterlot. There's just one more thing. Set aside the faint golden glow of her magic, illuminating the room for the briefest moment before something fell onto the bed with a muffled thump. My archivist found a rather unusual solution, at least for the overflow of magical power. If there had been a moment when Twilight Sparkle felt lower in her life, it wasn't a moment she could recall at this time. Not only she had her first debut, as it were, but she had it with another male. More importantly, a friend who happened to be the lunar princess. It had been a duet. If the feelings from the sympathy they shared had any indication. On the mess you both left in Celestia's bed, a snarky inner voice commented, "Oh, shut up," Twilight brawled at the inner voice. Shut up. Now, no, what was worse that Luna probably hated her, and Celestia must have heard them, had been accidentally, but still, if Twilight had possessed a decent amount of magical energy in her body right now, she would have teleported herself far, far away from this place. That the days will ever come, I will wake up in Celestia's room and feel such shame. Twilight thought with remorse, grabbing a double hooful of the enchanted cloud that made up the mattress at Celestia's bed, jamming her face into the impossibly soft mask, trying not to cry. Tia, what the hell are the old things doing here? Twilight tripped down Pity Street, took a hard right. Miss Luna launched herself away from Celestia, collided with Twilight, sent the pair of them soaring off the bed. Luna, Twilight, are you alright? Celestia yelled, trotting around the two tangled males, levitating what looked like two small iron rock bangles in her magic. Please tell me you didn't have another instant. No, Your Highness. Twilight grunted, trying to pretend that Luna's fright was not resting on her head right now. Luna, what happened? Take those infernal things away, Tia. What possible use could Star Swirl's shackles serve? Luna shrieked, scrambling off the Twilight and away from Celestia's true panic in her voice. No, I will not be shackled. I will not be imprisoned again. Tia, no, you promised me. Tia! Looking horrified, Celestia cast the bangles away to the other side of the room, and once again grasping her younger sister in her wings, holding her tightly as Luna sobbed and whimpered, half hugging, half struggling to get away. Princess? Luna? What? I don't understand. Twilight murmured in shock as she steadily got to her hooves. The unfathomable Celestia, the stoic Luna, both of them reduced to tears by a set of old-fashioned jewelry. Several minutes in a box of tissues later, both Luna and Celestia had calmed down enough for Twilight to make sense of the situation, and in typical Twilight fashion, decided the best way to keep herself from going into a panic was to make herself a mental list of what just happened. What had happened. Celestia had little choice but to confine both ponies to her own personal quarters after they had fallen unconscious during her prank, and the resulting surge of magic caused by the Sympathy, a surge of magic that had grown so strong during her test with their sympathy to each other that the horns had been welded together. The surge of uncontrolled magic had drifted through the castle itself, randomly emanating various opposites after the shock of the sudden Sympathy attack. And not both Twilight and Luna out cold. Twilight decided it would be best for all and sundry just to put the sympathy between her and Luna this morning as that awkward situation. Leave it at that. Thank Frost for the absorbent properties of cloud blends. Celestia's solution to the problem was Celestia's solution to the problem of such a high rate of sympathy or magical resonance between the two the most powerful ponies in Equestria was to send them to the ancient ruins within every forest that had been once the capital of all Equestria, so that the two could work together without interference from other ponies, or to understand how their sympathy could be controlled, and the bangles that caused Luna to react with such abject terror were devices created that were devices created by stars were built to drain magical energies or essences from the weaver into a third artifact, a pumpkin-sized, cube-shaped mass of pink quartz that Celestia's archivist was now attempting to find in the raw vaults. A magical battery known as Sympathy's core, which could store the power infinitely, in a state that any point with a spark of magic could then tap into at will. Unfortunately, the bangers known as Star Wars shackles have been misused in the past by several unicorns to artificially enhance their own powers by draining another unicorn or a certain princess of the night who wore the second shackle. And Luna's reaction to them was sort of nothing but of abject terror, because she had believed that Princess Celestia intended to shackle both Twilight and Luna and drain them to the point where their magical essences were completely drained, a fate that would even take a alicorn weeks or months to recover their full strength. I'm sorry, Tia. I'm so sorry. I just panicked. Everything's happened so fast, and I know it's my fault for trying to force as a result. It's my fault for trying to force a result. Lulu, without asking your permission first. Luna, Princess Celestia, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. And somehow, I probably cast a spell while I was drunk on the night of the coronation. No, Twilight, not even you could cast a spell of this magnitude. This is obviously fate at work. I apologize as well, Twilight. You have been caught up in something even beyond my abilities to help. Eventually, all three princesses ran out of apologies and settled on nesting together on Celestia's bed. Celestia in the middle, Twilight and Luna tucked up against her side. Celestia's wings wrapped draped over them, enjoying the closeness and warmth of family and friendship. Finally, Celestia's side began to explain. My archivist believes that if these core and solar cycles can drain off any excess energies created if you start to sympathize with each other again. So you're not be drained, left trapped, and unconscious like before. Celestia's soft snow white muzzle came down to nuzzle the tops of Luna's head, then Twilight's, before her wings tightened around them and heard the smaller outpoints to the solar princess. Due to the nature of the issue at hoof, I dare not send even a guard pony out with you, for fear of information being leaked back to the nobility, who will see the magical residence as a political vulnerability that they can exploit. Continuing, Celestia turned and levitated the two shackles back onto the bed, frowning at them. In any case, I suspect that with the magical skill that both of you possess, either one of you will be able to use the access energy stored within Sympathy's core to provide yourselves with almost anything you might require. But just in case, I also will be providing you with a bottle of Dragon's Fire to send me letters for additional supplies, and I will show you both how to trigger the shackles' emergency function, so you can remove them at will if either one of you feels unsafe. Twilight, for her part, simply leaned into the warm, solid body of Celestia enjoyed the moment. A small part of her mind had faded all away. Filed away all. A small part of her mind filed all away what Celestia was saying. Celestia had a plan. Celestia was going to make everything right again. Seeing Luna had to do. All she and Luna had to do was somehow master a building and understood resistance between themselves, or they might be stuck in the every forest forever. Need shelter, of course, bedding, food, or bathing equipment. The nearby wilderness still has a slight infestation, a hydra spawn. Don't want to live in there, Tia. Too many bad memories of what I did to you, to our opponents, for me too. Not certain how we'll get all the equipment out there without. Oh, of course, he could help. And tucked into the side of her beloved teacher, reserved that all could be solved. Twilight slipped back into slumber. Twilight Sparkle slipped back into slumber. Oh.